Marussia, Slava, Zaitsev, Moscow. Yes, I wore this when I entertained my lover. I met him on a plane, such a handsome man, so strong and brave, like all Russians. When the power was off, we made love. He brandished a candlelit lamp in his Moscow apartment. We were reflected in a mirror together. We drank Russian champagne together. Was he a spy? I caught him reading my diary. He could only fall in love with himself. He was a star in my show, the bubbles in my vodka. Vronsky, the alley cat, in my bed, warming his paws. My snow-covered bear hugging and kissing me. It's too late now for love. We're ready for the grave. A haven of peace is all that I need. I give up. I never wanted you to turn my life upside down like a freak show. No, no, no. You can blow off my roof, smash down the front door, frighten your mother, dangle her from the door as the ceiling collapses. All must fall as freezing snow stuns us into submission. Call off the troops, I'm already in hell as black soil covers my head. Chernobyl, I remember you well. I wrote this one just after Ukraine was invaded, actually, so it maybe feels slightly dated, I don't know, but it was 3 days after Ukraine was invaded. So we jump-started into war. Up and away, we start the day above the sky where nightmares linger. Don't doubt our intentions. We're after a fight. The great beast has been poked into action. Cyber attacks lightly, so up security, be prepared. It's not just in the air. Oppose us if you dare. Germany, beware, you'll tear out your hair when your pipeline runs out of gas and you're left in the lurch. But we Republicans will clap our hands as our car sales rocket and the shareholders invest. Who are the Nazis in Ukraine that Putin once repressed? Their president is Jewish. Odessa, hello. What have you seen? Destabilization? 6 dead already? A mere drop in the Black Sea. You're the biggest city there. We can't tell you how far Putin will go. Nuclear power stations, I hear. It could be a multicolored war, ending in a black hole of pain after we fought to defend ourselves. But Russia will not stop at Ukraine. We could be heading for World War III with nukes thrown in. Yes, it could be white as a winter night, missile strikes, explosions, and queues at petrol stations. A reckless but well-provoked attack. Stock markets have fallen, and so has the ruble. The skies will be black and white, as black as the waves that crash around Odessa. I've got one more. Is that okay, David? Can I do one more, or have we got time?
Absolutely.
Thank you. This is there's been a Hoppy prediction that we'll soon go have the third rock of the Earth. We've had 2 rocks, and the third rock is like the end of the world. And these 2 Indian tribes have met, the Hopi and another tribe have met to discuss this in their own language, actually. So I wrote about that. But my dear brothers and sisters, the Earth is about to shake for a 3rd time. We must be ready to pray for guidance. It was written in the stars that our days here are numbered. We're on a perilous path to nowhere. Myself, I've lived many times in advance. I've learned wisdom from forests, but now they're in demise. The birds can help me, but as yet I'm unable to fly. I turn to Tiger, one of the wisest, but he has to consider his own survival. Dolphins and whales are with us, but they have little knowledge of our corruption. The daughter of the moon watches but sees little. We must respect the silence of the mountains, but we are set on destruction, one long nuclear winter, when all protests will end. That's it then. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. Thank you.
Returning to the mountains. Byzantium collapsed at the Last Supper. Leonardo's vision crucified Iscariot. Warriors will remember Knights Templar fighting for Hagia Sophia, the infidel church and icons burning cities, Gomorrah, drinking the ichor of the Lamb, infinite worlds spinning within the perfect O of Giotto, the planisphere in conjunction with Mars, crossing the river Styx to Egypt, the catacomb below Jerusalem, the Cretan labyrinth, on pilgrimage from churches on the peninsula, guided by the star of Chaldea, returning to the mountains of Mexico, to celebrate harvest with the bridegroom in accordance with Mosaic law, paradisal sacrifice of the innocent, Bethlehem, a tumulus of bones, Ezekiel's vision reified for the millennium, fragments of parchment leaves blown through the streets of Kabul, a hijab embroidered flowers blossoming as memento mori in the cenotaph, argosies from Charybdis and Skyla, the Aegean trireme to and fro in the Aleppo, a cloak of invisibility for the brotherhood, sepulchre of the living Christ Jesus, Adam risen from the flood, looking back at the city of Necropolis, Lot's wife turned to stone, Abraham's hand arrested a knife, melting the wax of his heart spoon, a carillon played in the cathedral to celebrate the funeral of warriors, Valhalla, a reredos of a Gothic Romanesque angelic wing, as potent as an opium dream, the sunstone temple of prophets, territory crossing the highway, inferno of dawnlight midstream, written in Sanskrit, in arabesques, the dance of Aurora Borealis, via Polaris, a journeyman's dream, Babylonian script, or the Talmud, parallel worlds within worlds, a nuclear winter across the tundra, via lines of concentric circles, the Alexandrian library ransacked, fragments of papyri, London, Rome, Moscow, listening to the end of the timeline. On Alpha Lyra, they speak Esp, the language of mindfulness, traveling from beyond the mountains. Sacred heart of the sun, moon, and stars, hieroglyphs, King Og, warlord, trod through the valley of the shadow, hungering for more territory. Magellanic cloud in the night sky, prison camps in the archipelago, peoples who were annihilated in the Warsaw ghetto, ghosts that go now in blizzard latitudes, overshadowed by the zodiac signs in the night sky. Nostradamus' vision outside time, Singapore destroyed by invasion of the Axis powers, listening to the BBC wavelengths irradiated from the planisphere of the world, traveling from beyond space-time continuum, recalling Roswell, the Earth module, approaching Stonehenge sacrifice. Nostradamus revealed the truth and beauty, saw the explosion of Earthlight, a meteor from Alpha Centauri, crisscrossing the equator of Venus Urania, spinning within the eye of the tiger. On the field of Megiddo, New Mexico, the warriors will remember Asphodel. The Last Supper, a reenactment of the sacrifice of Adonai. Chrysalis, a monarch flying through the Chaldean astrologers' depictions, divinations, spinning around the astrolabe. Latitudes of the amoeba evolved in the shadow line, crossing Atlantis into the transept, the children of the Israelites, of tarot cards and haruspecs, machine gunned crossing the river to Stalingrad, returning with a royal robe of gold, according to the cathode ray. Ethiopian Lion of Judah, a crucible of the paschal lamb's blood, a versicolored window of the cathedral, lantern light swimming on the horizon. Of the chronos spoke in the equinox, kings of angels, Charles Wayne, Ursa Major, reification of the dynasty of Judah, a palimpsest rewritten by the pharaohs, papyri rediscovered in a catacomb beneath Jerusalem, in porphyry, King David's saints in the hagiography, incunabula from the Knights Templar, written in the Psaltery, Nostradamus' earthlight refracted from Alpha Lyra, inscribed by the Archimandrites, warrior poets from their ancient dynasty, reweaving past, present, and future in the turquoise patterns of the tree of life, worlds within worlds woven into its weft, petals of the opening lotus, sacred heart of the sun, moon, and stars, Nebuchadnezzar's nightmare, dream reading of the Chaldeans, druidic phantasmagoria, crystal light of lapis lazuli, a versicolored black light simulacra, crossing the river Brahmaputra, through the Indus Valley, approaching the skies of earthlight, occulted from beyond Eden, Bethlehem in Gabriel's flight, priestess of the temple recalls, time of the galaxy of Sagittarius, Kepler's exoplanets, Spinoza's clock, foreshadows the destruction of Amsterdam, seen through the slow glass, Nostradamus, a prophecy from the Manhattan Project, wandering the woods, Dante Alighieri, witnessing the leopard, signifying a dream, threatening the world with a storm, as the Saharan wind, sand blew from the tomb, archangelic host witnessing Golgotha, the blood sacrifice of the Ukrainian conflict in humankind's idolatry, bled on an altar. Time window foreshadows Lazarus, a salamander burning in the sky. Telemetry from Alpha Centauri, showing the doomsday machine. Sacred heart of the sun, moon, and stars on the shoreline of Gaza bombardment, the never-ending body, souls, lightning, a crucifixion of a Russian from the motherland, witnessed by the generals via satellite. It's a one-world psychodrama reaching millions. The world will remember the names for eons, no escaping the time continuum. Solar system as Saharan wind blew from the tomb, Tutankhamun's to curse, still life apparitions, generation on generation, papyri written to inspire fear in the Israelites. A treasury of biblical iconography enshrines the truth from textual lies, returning to the mountains of New Mexico. Astrologers and Bruja foretell futures. Stained glass windows in Gothic cathedrals recall the number of times warriors fought the battle against the conquest Apollo from Ziggurat to Ararat. Mesopotamia, when the intergalactic travelers landed on the surface of the earth. Apocrypha and Ezekiel's visions are prophetic, as Nostradamus, a black light spectrum irradiated from beyond Earthlight, sun, moon, goddess, Venus, Urania, circumnavigating the globe flower. Love was discovered hidden under the veil, whirling dervishes spinning a planetary system within the nuclei of a theatre, not of war. From the perspective of the Acropolis, Megiddo is a beautiful field of asphodel, troop ships on the Mediterranean, recalling conflicts in Herodotus' time, Babylonian cuneiform rewritten in Sanskrit. It's untranslatable, the folly of humankind. Thank you very much.